Good afternoon and welcome to the November 19th, 2024 meeting of the Golf Committee of the Town of Harwich. Welcome all. If you are watching this recording or if you are present, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to call the meeting to order and invite everyone to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. We still don't have a flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to note and express my appreciation that Selectman Handler, who is our liaison, is present. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Handler. We appreciate your support and encouragement to the committee and all the assistance you have given to me personally. Thank you. This is the public comment period. We don't have anyone present from the public, but this would be the time when we would ask folks to step forward if they have any comments or questions or concerns to express to the committee. We'll just duly note that we do not have anybody present. We now move to the consent agenda on our agenda. And the first order of business is the approval of the meeting minutes from October. If the members have had an opportunity to review, are there any corrections or additions to the October 22nd? This was our public hearing on rates and fees and our actual golf committee meeting. Right. Are there any additions?
I just had a question in terms of, and again, I know everyone was here for last meeting, but the motion, the first motion is recorded as 4-0.
Yeah.
Which was accurate, because I think a couple of people walked in right after that. Right. So I didn't know if there was, if that needed to be corrected in the minutes, if there's a transparency issue. Yes, it was 4-0,
Yeah.
but there were 6 people in attendance for the entire meeting. So
Right.
do we need to reflect that is my question.
Well, in the first notice of present, we have all the people who were here at any time.
Mm-hmm.
What we could do is we could add the names of those who voted on the motion to clarify the fact that who the 4 were.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric, you arrived after that?
I walked in at about this time, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who the other person was that wasn't here.
Yeah, I think it was.
Probably a couple, yeah, I came in probably like
All right.
2 minutes late.
So why don't we plan to add that voting for this motion, I can add this later, were members Adams, Doucette, Martello, and White. And that clarifies the fact that those were the 4.
Right.
Okay?
Just for transparency, and again, I don't mean to call anybody out. That's not my intent here. I just get concerned about
Yeah, that makes sense.
transparency.
Yeah.
So,
Only 4 people here, 4 people.
But you get full credit for attending. Both of you.
It's the first time.
Are there any other questions or adjustments that we need to make? If not, I'll accept a motion to ratify these minutes or accept the minutes. Is it so moved?
yep.
So moved, seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and all 6 of us have approved the minutes. We now move to the director's report, and I believe I shared with all of you some documents which the director of golf was kind enough to share with us, which included his director's report and a list of what he's going to talk about, and then I believe it's a list of tournaments. So I'm going to turn the floor over to our director of golf. Roman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One thing I would say to start is the golf season goes on. It's funny, this time of year, we're very busy with operations on the golf course. We still, this past weekend, had 100 players a day, which is unheard of this time of year. So there's still demand, and it's wonderful still to be the law for golf.
That's great.
Sean Fernandez, our golf course superintendent, provided me with a report on the golf course maintenance. I'll read that to start. Yeah, the greens were aerated on October 21st, and he's working on the deep tying of the greens on the 9th of December. So on the 9th of December is when we close the greens for the season and go to temporary greens on the golf course. So we're going to stay open all winter with temporary greens available to people to play if they'd like to, if as long as there's no snow on the golf course and beyond any frost delays we'll have. He's working on finishing aerating the fairways and tees, and he's hoping to be done next week on that. Blowing out the irrigation system, he's half done with that, and he'll be done by next week. And he's got late fall fertilizing going on the entire golf course with a lime application upcoming. And he's working on snow mold preventative for the greens and tees. Prep work for winter is blowing leaves, removing ball washers, and removing trash containers. And we're basically cleaning off the golf course for the winter. So they'll be busy. Don't worry about them. There's a lot to do on the golf course. On the operations side of things, we're very busy as well. And one thing I'd like to start with is most of our seasonal employees are done for the year. We just had a few core employees left. And I'd love to thank the staff that we had working in seasonal employees. We're such a talented group that they don't come for the pay, basically. They come for the camaraderie. They love golf, and we're so thrilled to have them. It's really the greatest asset we have is the people who work at the golf course. So I just want to take a minute and thank everybody. It's been a wonderful team once again this year.
Please express the appreciation of the golf committee for the work that's been done this year. It's been a very welcoming place. And does it seem likely that a lot of these folks would be interested in returning next year? Or do you know that?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
We have a number of seniors that will age out at some point.
Yeah.
And we have a number of juniors that move on to other things, students that move on. So every year we have a little bit of turnover in that regard, where some people are just kind of done with their work and part of their lives on one side of things, and then a lot of our younger students move on to bigger and better. So that's why it's such a nice mix, is I think we always have some real veterans, there's a veteran presence, but then they're very welcoming to newcomers as well. So
Yeah.
it's really been a great dynamic.
Good.
And I will express to them the golf committee's appreciation.
Yeah, and Roman, the course is in beautiful shape, there's no doubt, because I do play weekly. We did talk prior about communication on divots and ball marks.
Yes.
Is there any progress on
Yes.
that?
So, we have a plan for next year to start off with, we're going to basically in the off-season change out all the signage on the golf course, really focus on the signage with that. I believe, Jay, that you shared with me some USGA videos.
Yep.
I've shared those in the past as well, and so I really didn't think it was appropriate at the end of the season to
Mhm.
coach up people on
Sure.
good tactics. So I was going to save those for an early in the season email next year, or sort of like a spring email. But we were also going to focus on some signage as well. There's a couple of ones that we've really nailed down. Proper divots on the driving range would be very helpful, and so
Mhm.
we're going to purchase a sign for it down there, and then just more for the for our starters, kind of verbiage that eases with the golfers. Make sure they go over it with the golfers before they go out, and some signage at the starter house as well. So yeah, I think we have a good campaign planned.
Okay, good, great. Yeah, communication key.
Yeah,
Just
it
to
is.
remind people, hey,
And the greens being as great shape as possible always, but with the amount of rounds we do, there's always going to be ball marks. And even
Right.
if people fix them, do a great job with fixing them, there's always going to be ball mark issues when you have a golf course that has so much place.
yeah.
It's funny, it depends on people. Some people are super sensitive to fixing it, and they'll go around and fix anything they see. And I played with a guy a week ago last Monday, John. He's a member from Chatham, but he's an out-of-town member. He was, every time we went to the green, he was fixing all these, look, and they forgot, So some people are almost obsessive about it, which is appreciated. But if we all just did our part,
Right.
when you do make a mark like that, you should take responsibility for it. But
One of my observations too is, during the pandemic, they were very careful about what you could touch. And there was no raking in the bunkers during the pandemic, and it seems like that really created some bad habits in golf.
Right.
Yeah.
Bunkers have never been more neglected, I think, by golfers. So
Agreed.
So we may put a focus on that as well next year.
Yeah, good idea.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, And then, on the operations side of things, we're working on some very important operational things like a new credit card processor, which is very important for our operations. We're working with the town's building maintenance department for some building issues in the clubhouse. And we're working with the town's IT department on a network consolidation that'll be very important as well. Right now, we have 3 different modems and three totally independent networks. I don't know if you've checked in for golf at the starter house, but it's a slow transaction down there, and it's got nothing to do with we've tested everything in the world. It's nothing to do with our hardware. You would think the technology exists to kind of bounce a transaction up to the clubhouse. Instantly, it's not. And so the fact that it's two different networks complicates things. So we've worked on that all season. It turns out we have a network consolidation where we're moving to all one network, and we should see great improvement as far as that goes, as far as credit cards go with starter house. So that's been really our end of season interviews with our staff. With our seasonal staff really identified that they're very uncomfortable working down there just because they feel like they're helpless down there waiting for all the real spins. So our town IT department's been great about helping us with a network consolidation. And so we'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks. And this Thursday, I can't remember what I told you last time we met, but we've been kind of bumped on the schedule a few times. This Thursday, we're meeting with the Capital Outlay Committee, and I listed on my director's report that was sent to you the 3 projects that we have going before Capital Outlay. Irrigation upgrade for $2.5 million. We're hoping for FY26 approval on that. FY29 bunker renovation for $900,000. And FY30 replacement of an original maintenance building, the original maintenance building for $2.5 million. That's kind of a placeholder at this point. Those out years, as I've mentioned to you, the real high priority for us right now is the irrigation upgrade. So I'll be happy to report back to you next time we meet that I hope we've received all approvals. I did meet with the town administrator last week and the town finance director and treasurer and to go over the golf finances. They wanted to go over the rates and fees as well and really give their endorsement of the rates and fees that the golf committee endorsed, and which they did. They're very happy with the rate and fees going forward. But also, they said we're in great shape to take on any debt associated with the irrigation upgrade. We have almost $600,000 in our dedicated funds to begin payments on that, and we have the mechanisms in place to continue with annual payments. So we should be absolutely fine with according to them and according to our golf management staff to handle the financial obligation there.
If we are successful in moving the irrigation upgrade in fiscal year 26, fiscal year 26 starts July 1, 2025.
Yes.
Do we have any idea what the timetable might be theoretically?
Yes, we have a perfect timetable in mind, and what we're hoping is to get that approval and then go right to the bid package, which on our side of things should be pretty well set, because Sean Fernandez was anticipating this past season. So our timetable will be, if you notice on the tournament schedule, we have nothing scheduled after Columbus Day. Our perfect schedule will be to break ground on and have the company ready, engaged, under contract, and to break ground on the day after Columbus Day. And they would basically work 1 hole per week would be the plan. And so we could continue having golfers play the golf course if interested, have our pass holders play if interested. We'll really have 1 hole closed.
Have to skip 1 hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that would get the job completed through the off season with minimal impact.
Be great. Hope it works out. That's great. Thank you.
Roman, in the calculations for the cost, was there anything about efficiencies considered in the overall? In other words, right now there's areas that get very wet, and probably there's other areas that aren't getting the water that they should. When you put a new system in, my assumption would be that there would be some efficiencies gained in that, which should lead to a reduction in cost and operations over time. In my mind.
We're expecting water resource efficiencies, definitely.
Okay.
And then we're also not going to replace every head. We're going to focus on the greens, the tees, and the fairways. and not so much on the rough. That's what we've gotten out of our USGA agronomy consultations is maybe we're spending too much on the rough areas. And what the USGA is really promoting these days is to let the rough be rough. If it goes, it goes.
Right.
During the season, if it burns out, it burns out. And it's put less attention there and to be more efficient with our prime areas, green season fairways.
Here goes my whole game for now.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one thing we try to do for face play too, I don't like a whole lot of rough on the golf course. We like to keep that rough down so we can find the ball, hit it as well. So,
Is there any discussion about that 9-hole, was it the 9-hole course or whatever that
yeah.
you guys were talking about? Is that-
Yeah, so we still have a design in the process, actually almost completed. And what we're doing right now is that we're in the process of seeking grants for that. We've actually engaged with one company that is informally committed to a grant. They say they would formally commit if we had a 501c3. And so I've been working with town administration on that. That would have to come from a Friends of Cranberry Valley type of nonprofit. And that's how I envision that going. But I did not put that on the capital plan right now because we really want to focus on the golf course itself. And if grant opportunities come up, then I would move it up on the capital plan. But at this point, it's not funded.
Good. Thank you.
And then everybody got a chance to take a look at the draft of the tournament schedule. Again, this is only a draft. If you see a color version of it, anything in orange, I'm waiting for confirmations on the date. But this should be the complete amount of tournaments we're going to have. Just a matter of kind of nailing down some dates with some of these. And it's really the same traditional groups that have been approved from Harwich Fire Association, Harwich Police Association, the Women's Spring Team. A couple highlights are we have committed to hosting the Mass Golf Women's Fall Cup Championship at Cranberry Valley. So that's a cool major with Mass Golf.
Is that the one the end of September?
End of September 29th. And then we do have a Mass Golf qualifier once again. June 2nd will be the Mass Am qualifier. And then also one word with the New England PGA. We decided to consolidate the junior days where we have the New England PGA Junior Tour and the Drive Chip and Putt qualifier. So we're going to do that on the same day. So we'll have like a super junior day that day, which will be a lot of fun. And again, the Drive Chip and Putt's only on the driving range. And we end up with a lot of things, pass holder volunteers that help run that one. Great event. So to consolidate that with the any PGA Junior Tour event just makes a lot of sense. I think that'll be a great day. And so I'm looking right here, it's June 30th, but on the far right column I have Monday and Saturday, but they're both June 30th, I think it's Saturday in both cases. So that's a misprint fix. But there has been a request from members of the Women's 18-Hole Association to have the September 22nd Martha Duffy Open. And that was very undefined at this point. They just wanted to put a placeholder in there while they design an event. So that's
Thank you for making time.
so we'll see what goes on there. And you got any questions about the calendar?
Does that comport with our past schedule, or do we have more tournaments next year?
No, it's really right on. What we
Pretty
always do.
consistent?
One thing that I added is if you see May 30th, the CCK Invitational, I put Keenan in parentheses. We have a group that's been playing the golf course for 30 plus years. They all come to stay in a local hotel. They play Cranberry Valley, and they said the only thing limiting their event is what we can offer them for tee times. They'd love to do a shotgun event, which I never do I never schedule this for outside groups. So I said, once I got negotiating, they committed to 100 people at the full rate. I said, with no discount. They said, no, we'll pay the full rate. So I said, okay.
Go for it.
That may set a precedent of 100 people paying full rate. Yeah, we'll take it.
Well, plus you're helping the tourism in the town.
Yeah.
And it's
And maybe the
early
adjacent
Yeah, it's
towns.
early.
season. It's May also, so.
Yeah,
Exactly.
May is,
Yeah, the May is
that's a good
Friday.
month to do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a Memorial Day,
After, I think it's
right?
the
No,
week
it's actually
after.
before it, yeah, that's good.
Before it.
The 30th is right after.
Yeah, 26th, I've got it's Memorial Day, so.
Yeah.
See, September is a very busy month. But one thing I've been consistent with trying to do is make sure that July and August are minimal events, because that's when everybody's on the Cape. And
Yeah.
so that's the time of year that we really don't want to have a whole lot of events. And, you know, just really a couple of kid events, a couple of kid programs that are summer only. But other than that, we keep those very light for events. We try to push them more to the September, October, and May, June timeframe. And then there is one other one that's not on here, that if you saw it out on the right side of the column, I have SMGA. That's our military, Sioux Military Golf Association.
Oh, yeah.
event. What I do is I always schedule them in the date. The spring team requires us to put in 2 dates. So whichever date the spring team takes, we offer the second date to the SMGA. So I'll slot them in once Mass Golf tells us what date the spring team's going to take. So
Good.
they're not on schedule yet, but that's one that has deep connections with the golf committee because they call their event the TJ after Tom Johnson, who was a former member of the golf committee and made the strong connection with the Sioux Military Golf Association.
Nice.
We are officially a chapter of the Sioux Military Golf Association, where if any post 9/11 veterans go to their local veteran outreach and say they want to take up golf, that they'll pay one of our staff members to give them a golf program, its instruction program, and then TaylorMade provides them with free clubs. So,
Nice.
Well,
and then we just had our first one last year. There was given a lesson package by Bob Miller for Teaching Pro, and they got the free clubs, and they're now golfers.
That's wonderful.
So,
That's good.
cool.
Good program.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a
that's
great
really,
program.
That's cool.
I love it.
It's a good lineup.
It's a good lineup. It's funny, you know, it's a funny change from pre-pandemic or a lot of the Cape courses that have multiple golf courses. You really chase these outings.
Yeah.
And then I more fend them off because we're not really looking for every random kind of beer fest kind of events that they have. When I worked in Barnstable, one of my previous jobs where we had 2 golf courses. We would keep the pass holder played old Barney and the Hyannis like it'd be anything goes, and we'd have those events, and yeah, they serve a purpose, but it's not really appropriate. But we're not looking to fill our golf course. Our golf course is full every day, it says so.
Yeah.
So I think this is an appropriate size. I think we're hitting all of the local, like the fire association, the police association, my school boosters, things like that, where we're doing the community events, but we're not doing
Yeah.
stuff outside of that.
That's a good approach, I think.
Roman, do we know if Jake's is coming back next year?
No, I don't know that. So
Okay.
I do think last I heard, the town administrator received permission from the select board to enter into negotiations with them for a 1-year extension. I'm not sure where that stands at this point. But I do know that they're interested. So I've spoken with folks from Jake's, and they're already idea brainstorming for next year and opportunities. So we'll see. It's kind of in limbo as far as I know at this
Mhm.
point.
Okay.
But it's early in the season. So.
Sure, exactly.
Any other questions? That's all I have for you. That's part of my report.
The rate and fee
Oh, sorry.
ratification, have the select board scheduled it yet?
So, as I mentioned, I met with the town administrator, the treasurer, and the finance director last week, because they wanted, the town administrator wanted their endorsement of the
Right.
fees also.
And you got
And
that?
So I got that.
Yeah.
So he said he's gonna put that on the select board agenda for an early December meeting.
Okay, good.
And I'll spread the word to you,
Yeah.
to you, Paul, you can
Yeah.
reach out to the committee once that is approved.
Yeah, that's great, thank you.
Well,
Well, that's good, good update. And we have any questions on anything Roman's mentioned, or anybody have anything they want to bring up?
No, I think
While we're
Roman's
here?
doing a great job.
Yeah, we're in good shape. It's been a good season, and it looks like it's going to be a wonderful year next year, too. That's great.
Yeah, it's scheduled to be, let's hold out hope for good weather. That's
right.
the one thing we've been
Yeah.
so lucky with
Yeah.
for so many years now, and we haven't had that big weather event, or, you know, I think we paid in advance with the tornado.
The
we had.
tornado.
Yeah, I was going to say,
That was enough.
that should hold us in good stead for 10 years.
At least.
I mean, this fall has been spectacular,
Unbelievable.
just spectacular.
Yeah.
I'm almost afraid
Keeps going.
Yeah, don't,
that we're going to get punished.
Let's
Say
not
it,
talk
Paul.
about it.
well, we have some rain coming this week, right?
We do,
Which-
we
which
need
we
it.
need, right?
We need it desperately.
Good.
I know what it looks like, yeah, it's been so long, I don't remember what rain looks like.
I know, sort of forget.
Careful what you ask for.
Yeah, right.
It's funny though, it's just a little bit of moisture here. I mean, just the dew in the morning or whatever. We are less impacted with the red flag than the rest of the state, I think. We've been lucky.
The grass is still green.
Yeah,
one
it's
thing.
amazing, isn't it?
It is,
There's still
yeah.
grass in the golf course.
I would share with the group that this is our last scheduled meeting for this year. I don't see any need for us to gather in December. It's a busy month for everyone. And we traditionally take the first couple of months off during the winter for folks to travel or get away on vacation and what have you. So we'll think about something maybe in March, and I will consult with the director of golf to make sure we have a viable need to meet. And if we do, then I will communicate with folks in advance to give you a couple of dates for the spring, so you know what's what. But we get a little respite. I don't think there's any need, unless people disagree. I don't think we need to gild the lily here. We've got a good thing going. We've had a good season. Let's take a deep breath and enjoy the holidays.
Yeah,
Okay?
Yeah.
We're here.
sounds good.
Excellent. Well, thank you all, and before we accept a motion to adjourn, I would say I wish all of you a wonderful Thanksgiving and healthy, happy holidays with your family, and I hope everyone gets a chance to take a break.
Same to you.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you.
Accept a motion to adjourn. So moved, seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the golf committee for November is adjourned. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.